Hey y'all, so I'm in the kitchen tonight. I have gotten home from work. I am all done with Christmas. I'm fed up with ham and turkey and I want something completely different. So I'm going to be making a very quick, non-authentic Italian because I am not Italian. I've always known it as Conchiglie casserole, which are the conch shells. They're like, you can see my finger how big these are. And it's a very simple casserole using ingredients from my local grocery store, no fancy cheeses, and it's relatively cheap. A little more expensive than just making a quick spaghetti, but we enjoy it instead of like lasagna that Tommy likes to make. So I'm going to show you guys my version of this very simple recipe that you can get made in under an hour. So don't come at me if you're Italian. I know you have your own way of doing things and that's great. Let's just call this the Americanized version of what you guys do so perfectly. So here we go. So in this bowl I just have some chopped spinach. I didn't even buy fresh spinach. I had chopped spinach in my freezer, so I am thawing that out. And I am now going to put this in a pan with some olive oil. Oop, a little bit too much, but I guess you can't ever have too much. So I'm going to put the spinach in here. And I'm going to start sauteing this. I'm going to put this on the stove and start sauteing this until it is done. In another pan on the stove, I have some ground beef that I am browning. Nothing special in here, just browning some ground beef. I brought it over here to show y'all and to break it up a little bit more. I will add some salt to it. Let's get this back on the stove. Then I also just have some plain Kroger ricotta. And yes, some shredded Parmesan. I didn't go buy special Parmesan. I'm going to be using these two cheeses in my casserole. I'm going to get my casserole dish. Going to put a little olive oil in the bottom. I have a jar of ragu, which is the chunky mushroom. I'm going to pour some on the bottom. Let's see. Let's do about half. Yeah, half the jar. I'm going to set this aside. Now I'm just going to finish browning my ground beef and sauteing my spinach, and I will be back in just a minute. Now that my ground beef is done, I'm going to spread this in the pan. And now I'm going to cook a box of the Barilla jumbo shells, the conch shells. I'm just using the same pot that I browned my ground beef in. I'm waiting for the water to boil, and then I'm going to pour the entire box of shells in there. In the meantime, I still have my spinach sitting over here. And now that my spinach is thawed out, I'm going to put it back in the bowl I had it in earlier. I'm going to mix in the ricotta. Some salt. Some Italian seasonings. And some of you are going to ask what's in this. It's oregano, marjoram, thyme, rosemary, and sage. And then I'm going to mix all of that up. Now, I will say, if you like garlic, then you can put garlic in here as well. But as I have gotten older, I have a sensitivity to garlic and unfortunately can no longer eat it. But this is good with garlic in it. I just skip that because I can no longer tolerate it. So y'all go ahead and put some garlic in there if you want to. I'm still waiting on the water to boil for my pasta, which I'm only going to cook for 7 minutes al dente, and it'll finish cooking the rest of the way in the casserole dish. So I will be back in just a minute. All right, now that my water's boiling, I'm going to go ahead and get my pasta in there, and we're going to cook this pasta for about 7 minutes. I'm gonna set my timer. Hey Google, set timer for 7 minutes.
Sure, 7 minutes. And we're starting now.
And I'll be back. Now that the pasta's done, I'm gonna let it sit here and cool off until I can touch it without getting burned. Now that the pasta's done, I'm gonna start filling it with my cheese mixture. Cheese and spinach, and just sit them, down in the casserole dish. Until each, oh, that one's still hot. Until each one of them is full. Alright, now I'm going to take the rest of the pasta sauce that I have, put it on top. And the Parmesan cheese. And I'm going to bake it in the oven, 350 degrees for 15 minutes. And here's the finished product. So that's how easy it is to make conchiglie casserole or Italian shell casserole, whatever you want to call it. They call that el forno because it's baked in the oven. I'm not trying to massacre the Italian language. Again, I am not Italian. I just like some sort of Italian foods with some cheap American cheeses and pasta sauce thrown in. Yes, I know how to make my own pasta sauce, but I didn't have any. And I had ragu on hand, so you make do with what you have. So this is better than, I'm not going to mention any names, this is better than fast food. So I think Tommy likes this dish, and I think you will too. So you guys give it a try. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section. You guys have a happy new year, and this is my last video for the year, so we'll see you in 2025. Happy New Year.